Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to our next topic. According to reports, I think Tokwe also read it earlier during the paper review, many Nigerians are reportedly battling with joblessness, destitution in the United Kingdom after emptying their savings to pay agents. For who promised them unemployment with skilled worker visas. A lady left Nigeria in search of greener pastures with the assurance of getting jobs in the UK, as promised by her agents, but the story turned out to be ugly on her arrival. So that's our conversation today, because the truth is that many Nigerians are leaving the country in droves, and some of them are extremely successful. Others are having serious challenges in settling down, and while others were totally scammed. And the one we're talking about today is in that third category of those who were scammed. And it goes back to the We the People. Please call us on 081-076-41679, 0902-4163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweet. I know a lady had reached out to me some time ago. I can't remember. I had sent her contact to the producers. She actually helps Nigerians when they arrive in the UK to settle down. You know, her job is just to help you to get adjusted. And I know that this message, the reports we're reading came from a lady who actually was in charge of a soup kitchen. And she was saying that about 15 out of the 35 to 40 who come had this skilled workers visa, and they were scammed. They came with the visas. Unfortunately, they didn't get a job as promised. And now they're having to come to her for food, and she has to feed them breakfast every single day. And one of the one of those who also one of the people that were in the soup kitchen also complained that she had to pay over £10,000. Unfortunately, she got to the UK, and everything she was promised didn't happen. And it goes back to we the people, because one thing, yes, scamming ourselves. So Nigerians are trying to leave the economic hardship they are facing, and then they sell everything they have. And you, Nigerian, is scamming your own people as they're going to the UK. Like, why are we like this?
So let's establish the job scam.
Yes.
UK has created a platform that allows Nigerians to apply for a skilled working visa. They tend to do nursing assistance, healthcare, within the healthcare space. And when they get that visa, it costs money. Not supposed to be a very expensive thing, but in Nigeria right now, it's very expensive. It is with the expectation that when they arrive in the UK, they will do that specific kind of job. That's the only job they are allowed to do. Yeah. They can't do any other work. And there must be hours for them to work. When they get in there, they are hoping that when they do the work, they're able to recover the money it cost them to go there. So now we're discovering that a lot of Nigerians got that visa, got there, and there is no work waiting for them. The particular woman that paid £10,000 specifically could only work for 12 hours in 1 week. That's not enough to even cover any bill. £10,000 to get the visa. Now she's going to food kitchen to get the work. So that's the problem. We, the people, scamming each other, taking advantage of the vulnerable people that are trying to get a living abroad. It's not a bad thing. It's just that we should be aware of what the problem is.
Toby.
Wow. This story is quite unfortunate, and many Nigerians have this experience. And one of the things that came to my mind was that for you to have gathered £10,000 in Nigeria and paid, which information didn't you want to read or find out about? A lot of Nigerians do not. Some Nigerians do not like to go through the extra step to ensure that they cross their T's and dot their I's. We believe that money answers, you know.
Hey, you're very correct. The reason why I'm feeling you, because I say it a lot on this show. Once I pay you money, sort it out.
Yes,
even to apply for a job, you don't go to their website. Well, is TVC hiring? And no, they don't even ask me. You just expect me to send my daughter to you. I'm just going to receive your daughter and give her a job. So we don't like to go to the process. Go online and check.
Mariah,
just give somebody the money.
While that is very valid, honestly, that your point is very, very valid. Yes. In this case, that wasn't it. In this case, this person was scammed. They read everything, got information. They got there with the decision that they were going to work. The person did not ensure that there was an opening. I have someone in the UK, a fan of YourView, who runs like 6 to 7 care homes. And I saw her in the UK. And I have someone that is trying to get there. And she said, Tokwe, I cannot apply for someone to come because I don't have the hours the person needs to work. That there are many people stranded right now that I could have applied for you to come and then I'll collect your money, you will show up, but I don't have work to give you. And then you are stranded looking for how to work and pay your bills and I don't have accommodation for you. So that is an honest Nigerian. I've saw that since last year. She said, everybody I have now, people have been working with her for 10 years. No, I can't, there's nobody that is going. And unless I open a new facility, I can't employ anybody. So she's not making it a racket. The issue is Nigerians made it a racket. They scammed someone. It's not about reading. It's not about going through the process. It's that somebody manipulated you to make you vulnerable when you get it because the money was...
So you're absolutely right. But there are, just like you said, there are cases where people don't pay enough due diligence to what they need to do. So you're right. So they're both correct.
Yes. So I also do think that at some point you would find, because, I mean, check the website, check all those things somewhere, and then a lot of people take the gut feeling in their mind as... I've paid and that's it. Somehow you still have an inkling in your mind, but sometimes you say, I've paid this person, that's it. And then the second thing I was also going to say is that the grass isn't always green on the other side. You probably, for a lot of people that travel, I see that they're relocating and they sell everything that they have. They literally shut down everything they have in Nigeria to start a new life. But at the end of the day, when you get there, what are the things you go through? What are the experiences that you have? A lot of people need to find out. And selling everything you have, I mean, you know, for some people, they even travel and they don't even tell the people around them they are traveling. They've gotten there. They will not say...
Some people have shut down and sold everything and they've been successful. So the reason why I can sell my house, sell everything is because I always have an uncle who did exactly the same thing. He got there, maybe walked the streets for a few years, and then now he has it. So I've seen that success story where, you know what, let me just shut down Nigeria and move on. So, but let me come to you, Damola.
Okay, my own worry in all of this is, why are people moving? I think until we begin to resolve the economic issues in our country, we would still keep experiencing this massive emigration, and people will keep getting scammed in the cause of it. Because people are going through a lot. It's okay to say, before now, I used to think, what are you going to look for abroad that you cannot do here? But when I heard people's stories, people are really going through a lot. People sell their children just to feed. People have resorted to kidnapping. Some people even sell their kidneys just to survive. So I think I'm really, really looking forward to the empowerment programs that this administration has for the youth.
To that because we've had this conversation.
That's the root cause, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't want us to focus on the root cause because there's so many. We've had this conversation several times on this show also. But today's focus is really this situation our people are facing. There's plenty of reasons. That brings the tie wrapper where we've discussed it several times. But our focus today now is why Nigerians are scamming each other, number one. And this issue you talked about, racketeering, where people are actually being overwhelmed. Nigerians are being overwhelmed with the amount of people coming in at the time, and they're not able to settle in. But we're going to go on a quick break, I think. When we come back, is a call. Good morning, Mr. Boyede. We'll come back to you.
Yeah, I'm here now. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Boyede.
There's one thing I want to tell Nigerians about the situation of things. Most people that have traveled abroad, they do it because of comparison.
Because of what? Comparison.
They do it, yes. My cousins are there, my families are there. What am I going to be doing in Nigeria? In the next 10 years, and people even calculate their lifetime, the next 5, 10 years, what will those people look like? What will I look like when they come back in Nigeria? I could remember there was a time I wanted to travel to UK. So my mom now connected me to a man in UK, which they told me probably the...
Oh, I really wanted to hear that story. He was listening to himself. All right, so, I mean, going back to what Damola said, what you said is very critical on why are they immigrating. But that's the conversation I said. We've said it so much, and we'll continue to discuss it. However, I really want us to harp on how we can actually be our neighbors' keepers. How we can actually understand that those who have immigrated, you've now arrived. As a Nigerian, I should have a responsibility to helping you out.
For you.
As a Nigerian, I should have some kind of, I should feel the need to ensure that you are settled. So the issue of jobs, what are we doing to ensure that Nigerians who move over there are not stranded like many of these guys are going to the soup kitchen and looking for their daily needs?
So, you know, there's a caller that called in the last segment and was talking about the fact that we talk about the problem, we're not highlighting the solutions. Yeah. The truth is, it's been there over and over again. So people have said it, that if you want to go, especially to the UK, if you want to go to the UK and you're not a doctor or a nurse, if you're not a doctor, you're not a nurse, and you're not going for your master's degree, don't bother. Many people go for this, they call it COS, which is like a skilled, like you're assisting elderly healthcare, but they say it's not the best way to travel.
Certificate of sponsorship.
Certificate of that it's not the best way to travel because it leaves people stranded, especially if you're not having to shut down everything you have here in order to go there. It's not the best way. That if you can afford to pay that kind of money for the certificate of sponsorship, then just go and spend the next 3 years getting a nursing degree, so that when you want to go, like invest 3 years, plan, so that you will have something substantial that will be useful for you to add to that economy when you go there, and you won't be stranded when you get there.
Let me take this call from Larry. Why are you calling from London? You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
And yeah, long time. Yes, I will tell you the reason why people want to get out from Nigeria. Number one, security. There's no security in that country. The roads, no lights, no hospital, nothing working. I won't lie to you. Like me, I've been here for over 30 years in UK. And I can, on the government website here, I can go and check my pension, how much I will get, when I'm entitled to get my pension. There's a travel card here, they call that Ulster card. I'm over 60 now, and I was given freely. And that cost, if I want to top it up, it costs 325 to top it up every month. And I can travel to anywhere. Free bus, underground. They write to me like every 2 years that you have to come for your medical test. And you know, there's everything here that will make you happy, that will make you relax, that if anything happens to you, you will get your entitlement. But in Nigeria, people working for 40, 50 years, 30 years, hardly before they can get their little pension. Peanuts. That's why people are moving away. The only people that enjoy in Nigeria, the politicians. It's not good.
You know, I've heard this narrative so many times. It's like
you know, when she went there, I didn't want her to go there because it would distract the conversation.
Yeah.
It would change the conversation. But in addressing this, if the enjoyment you are enjoying took people sweat, blood,
hundreds of
years to fight for that what you're enjoying. If all of them had gone to the greener pastures, you wouldn't have what you're enjoying.
You know,
because the best hands that we have that can fight, that would confront the civil service, that will stay in civil service and they will not bend to corruption, that would be shouting on social media, you japa. Yes. So who will make it better?
You know, I'll come to you in a second. Also, in addition to add to that, I was taking somebody yesterday. Someone was complaining the fact that the government had demolished certain places, you know, that other people have left. And I was thought to myself, my village is Dosumu. I wasn't there when government probably demolished Dosumu gazillions of years ago and cleared the place. Now people have come in and they turned into a city that is today. Some of us were not there when they were clearing Lekki. Lekki was never like that.
Absolutely.
We are all now buying houses. I live in Lekki. That place, some of them have to claim land. Some families have grandchildren who are today, they are disgruntled because you took land from their fathers, maybe you didn't compensate them properly. But many of us have bought land. We're not part of that process that developed land like you. We're now buying land. Somebody had to sacrifice everything for you to have land in Lekki today. So somebody must build something. And that's why I don't want to go to why they are leaving, because we can break it into different parts of this conversation. Right. So there's always a time to, no doubt. We have our politicians have totally,
in the past years,
have derailed the progression of this country. No doubt about that. You'd have gone 30 years. No doubt about it. You're right in a lot of cases. But somebody has to build this nation. And some of us have decided to stay back. We have to also support our loved ones who are traveling too, because they are jackpying for good reasons.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so that's me. I would never go speak against jackpying. My own is that go, do well, excel, and then come back. My own is when you now don't come back, there's a problem. But come back at some point and then add value. That for me is key, is critical. So going, let us stay on when they're gone. Because if we want to go to why they are going, we will not leave this conversation. Let me come to you, Toby.
Tope tried to bring us back into the conversation. And I feel that a way in which we can avoid being scammed as Nigerians, still going back to my main point, is by going through the process ourselves. I mentioned earlier that we seem like once we pay somebody, that is it. But you realize that even for your masters, you can actually apply, get admission, do all that process by yourself. Jobs, go on LinkedIn, you will see the organizations that are recruiting. They will ask you, are you currently in Nigeria? Are you currently in the UK? You say yes. You say no, you will still apply irrespective. You will find out by yourself that these processes that we seem to pay agents for are available on the website of these organizations, of these countries. So, I mean, when you get scammed in cases like that, I sometimes think about it and say, you could have read this thing, maybe put in an extra hours to apply for this thing, but you would have gotten it by yourself.
Let me take this call from Ade. He's calling from London. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, Morales.
Morning.
Number one, I want to support Tope. He said it all. He's the here on the head. If you are not a medical person, don't come to UK. If you are not coming for masters, don't come to UK. Go to Canada. Canada needs people. Then I want to back the last caller. He said it all, the last caller. I came to England in 1988. And I'm still here. Though I love my country, Nigeria, I come here yearly. But security, how much I spend on security is a lot of money. But here now, if I go anywhere, it's free. Like that man said, I got card. So I go to train, I pay for everything free. On my phone, I can check my medical history from 1988 today. Doctor will write me, this will write me. So that is the reason why we are still here. If not me, I love Nigeria. I love the noise around me. But here it's too quiet for people like us. Who are pensioners. So, if I go there, I will spend a lot of money on security. Then I don't have the confidence to go to any clinic and say I want to get. I don't want them to give me injection. I've not had an injection in my life. Just have to get. So Nigeria is a good country, but we don't have a good leader to get it correct.
I mean, you're absolutely right that day. I mean, definitely, Nigeria is not where it's supposed to be. But some people have lived here also. And, you know, someone said, we live and looking behind our back. I hope every day I go in and pray for Father Lord, let me just go safely and come back home. So, because, yes, you're right, there is issues of insecurity everywhere, just like there is abroad. But, you know, we are here. I spoke to my sister yesterday in the UK, and she was telling me that, because she was going on a vacation, she now said, like, listen, anytime I go on a vacation to any country, Auntie Bimbo was saying that it's like she can budget. But last time she came to Nigeria, she spent 2 million naira. Like they are spending money. You're giving the security, you're giving this person money, you are coming with the issues. So it's like you are spending. It's like you didn't come to Nigeria for vacation, you came to spend. So there are issues. So we know the issue is plenty, you know. But now let me come to you, Damola.
Okay, so I want to highlight the situation in the UK in particular, because it's not as rosy as people have painted it to be. And just like Toby said, it's not always, the grass is not always greener on the other side. I remember when I was doing my master's, I did not even see my neighbor for like 3-4 months. It was me, all man for himself. And that is the lifestyle of the average Nigerian living in the UK. They just want to wake up, go to their hustle place or office, and then come back. So if you are emigrating, ensure that you have a backup plan. Ensure that you have a support system that can take you in case plan A fails, at least. Plan B can actually help you stay afloat. And also, plan C is also necessary. I do not subscribe to you selling everything that you have here. What if it does not work over there? What do you then fall back to? So people who are immigrating need to also think it through properly. Do your research, check before you go.
I like that point you make. Let me come to Muyiwa from Copenhagen. Thanks for calling.
They are calling from here today.
Obodo.
Good morning.
Hello.
You're live.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, my own opinion about the discussion this morning is about, I really have to agree with what someone said. The people that fought for these lawsuits in Nigeria and joining the UK, they are not going today. Because I believe in Copenhagen for over 20 years now. The people that fought for the enjoyment of the Copenhagen today, they are not going to. I think it's a process. Problem of Nigeria.
I can't hear you. It's really
The
bad.
point I said about people that fought for what he's enjoying in Copenhagen today are not there. So for some people had to stay and fight because it wasn't convenient. There are some other European countries where what we were thinking Nigeria is bad. They also had it worse, and they could have gone to the UK or gone somewhere else, but they stayed to fight for their country. But that's even. Let me talk about the important solution. You know, I don't want us to go.
Let me talk about solution. I think Damola gave us one solution. Those of you that are going, you need to have plan B, which I think is really critical. Because some of us, you don't know anybody in the UK. You just apply and you go. You get stuck and you don't know where to go. Some people have family. Not even, in fact, you're right. Some people you even know.
They don't even want to
They might not
send you.
In fact, let me give you one story. I share this story. My husband too had that phase in his life where japa was in. So he and his brother traveled, planned quickly, here you go. Because they were trying to blow, right? So they thought that once you enter UK like this, just go to Sony Studios, let them hear our music and we just blow. So all the people that promised, don't worry, I'll pick your airport. You know, we'll go to Sony Studios.
They will not pick your
call. They were calling. They don't pick up. The guy said, he was there, he didn't know anybody in the UK. He now had to call like family member, somebody that, he had to call home, they had to find somebody that knows somebody, and then get him to sleep in somebody's house at least until a few days before he came back to Nigeria. Like, what? So you can get stranded like that when you go to a country that you don't know anybody.
Even if your plan B is that you know someone,
it should be somebody that's close to you.
She said, have a plan C, because if your plan B does not pick you up, then your plan C can have enough options that would help you all through. But I want to talk about communities. If I'm going to go to any country, I would research. I would find a community, I would find a group of people that help people. So my friend might not help me. My family member might not help me. It might be a stranger who already has gone through my pain, that already has a community for like that. I tell anybody that is locating, find a redeemed church around you. Find a church because those churches know people that are always coming in that have faced problems. They will be able to help you. Then I went into real estate. If I did not join a community before going into real estate, men, I have seen premium shege this year, but it would have been shege pro max, shege banza, shege everything together if I didn't have a community. So it is important that before you leave Nigeria, find out that community in UK, community in Ireland, community. It is community. I was in Glasgow, and my husband's friend's wife, Fumi, was calling that this lady needs to stay somewhere. They are evicting her from where she is. We need to find. That's because before she left Nigeria, they are not related. But Fumi is a helpful person. She lives in Glasgow, but she's always helping. She has a community for social workers. This woman wanted to become a social worker. She joined the community before leaving Nigeria. If not, all her family members have abandoned her.
You know, some Nigerians don't like helping other Nigerians.
Yes.
So it's good. Those communities are great. But if I know Toby, they'll be so she hasn't come to the UK.
I'll not be carrying you around. I beg
you know, this is UK. Let her go and sort herself.
Communities can help you.
When I came, I sorted myself out.
Yes.
Because
Nobody helped me.
Because the truth is that whether you like it or not, there is that phase. When you go to a new place, you either drive taxi, either throw paper, either do something, those menial jobs, before you kind of find your feet. I'll come to you, Toby. Let me take this call from Dennis. Thanks for calling. You're live.
All right. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Dennis.
Yeah. On the topic we are discussing, we cannot discuss this without actually looking at the root cause why our people are going to UK. The country today is bad. Let's call it in this way.
Go ahead.
The other to leave this country because there is nothing working in this nation. Where every human being likes a place where he can be comfortable. And that's why we are moving. It's only unfortunate that the situation in Nigeria today is affecting everyone. And not even got everybody happy. financial capability to even move out of this country. If we have, everybody will have diverted this nation, Nigeria. Nothing is working in this nation. It's very unfortunate. Thank you.
I know that all the calls will be going to why they should go or why.
Yeah, because that's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit.
And
But that's not the
talk
conversation.
About, we're trying to solve problems for those that are going or are already there and are stranded. What do you do if you're already there? Like this woman that for 1 week has been eating bread and sardine because that's the only thing she can eat that she will not warm. That's the only thing that will not require heat to prepare. So we're talking about people that found themselves in that situation. What can they do? You know, because yes, the churches, even Nigerian churches abroad, are overwhelmed with the number of people that are coming and they have to help.
Let me take this comment from engineer Ajibola Tijani. I always like hearing from him, but let me see what he says this today. He says, good morning, Mariah. This topic on japa should have series. I agree with you. Migration is ordained by God, even in the scriptures, and there are good reasons to migrate as human beings. However, what people do is just to lament without making any meaningful contributions. They simply ask the question, what has Nigeria done for me? And they never ask themselves what they have done for Nigeria. Is Nigeria a human being? Without the people called Nigerians, would there be a Nigeria in the first instance? Everyone should endeavor to add value, and the results will be a Nigeria of our dreams. There are people in diaspora who are patriotic, and despite being in diaspora, they still exercise patriotism. They don't curse Nigeria or abuse Nigeria. They rather contribute intelligently. Okay, as I said, we don't want to open that can of worms because the issue of why we are living is a full-day topic that would not end. But let me come to you, Toby. Let's go into how do we help those Nigerians who are abroad. Tope has given us a community. You have said plan A, plan B, plan C. Any ideas from you?
Yes, so extending from what Tope said, sometimes we feel like once the person is a black person, the person is likely to help us. But there are other races also in those countries. But because our judgment has been clouded based on the fact that, this one would not even understand what I'm saying. We just overlook them. But I think that there are also people like that. Look away from your prejudices. So, for example, they may have a different sexual orientation, but you know what you're looking for. They're not entirely bad because of some things that they currently do. You know what you're going for. So please interact with other people outside the black race that you have within your
They're going to report you.
You know that for someone I know that relocated about 4 months ago, Indian, and the guy was the only one that, because they were looking for, they're in Canada right now. Thankfully, they've been able to rent a house with the guy, but they couldn't get anybody to rent them a house because everybody was asking them for guarantee that you will be able to pay. So you must have work, and they just landed. So they were staying at an Airbnb, which is very expensive. They couldn't sustain it, but they were able to get someone, an Indian man who said that I can totally understand everybody. Because when they got to the man said, you didn't fill this part of the form. That was how the guy just said, I beg. I've been feeling everybody. I don't have a job yet. I can't get a job because I don't have an accommodation that is permanent. And nobody's giving me a house because I don't have a job. Like, help me out. Like, he vented, and thankfully, the person was an Indian that was able to say that my mom also came with us as children, as a single mother, and she went through this. Don't worry, I will get her to waive this for you. So sometime, and they were able to get an apartment. Now they are getting things a bit together.
So there are those good stories we hear. You know, I know somebody also, they went for a vacation. Their child fell sick, and they were in the hospital, and then they found out that this child had a serious condition that was going to cost millions of dollars. And they're thinking, where am I going to? But, you know, they found compassion by, I think, somebody that got on international organization, that got somebody that they paid the money and then did their papers for them. These are stories that we hope that even though I struggle, wiggle my savings to US, America, I'll find, you know, when you pray.
But that's an exception.
When you are backed up with some prayers from Nigeria,
you'll be going with confidence.
When Daddy Joe is following you with some prayers, as you enter like this, you might find mercy. At the JFK,
Airport,
somebody will take you and say, nice, you like your hair. Let me find the papers for you. Before you know, these things happen.
We cannot plan with that.
So you can't plan with it. I agree with you. You can't plan with that. But these things happen. That's why people feel confident. But you know what? Don't worry. Let me just get there first. I will sort myself out. Let me somehow, you know, Holy Ghost fire will help me. Anyway, we have to wrap up. We've run out of time. But I think the real crux of this conversation is that there are reasons why Nigerians leave. As I said, we've discussed it several times, but we can't stop discussing it. And we'll continue to discuss it because it's a reminder to why we must fix Nigeria and also support government and help government to fix Nigeria and ensure that we get the right people to fix Nigeria. That's one hand. Then the hand of those who are emigrating legally but need support, Those ones, Nigerians abroad, find communities to help you. Those who are also going illegally, somehow, God will help you. And there are those who are victims of racketeering, who Nigerians are the one actually inflicting this pain on themselves. These are the ones this show was about today. You must support Nigerians. The fact that they are alive in the country, they need help and support. And please, if you're a Nigerian in a community, please reach out to Nigerians who are there stranded and help them to settle in. That's all we can take on today's show. We'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.
Tomorrow.
Oh, we'll see you tomorrow on YourView Saturday. Please, I'm sorry. Saturday, YourView, 9 a.m. See you. Have a great weekend.